Hey guys, we're back. I am Island Turtle. Welcome to BOMISpirit. This is the Aloha Friday hangout for September 20th. Hello again. Hey, hello. All right, so we're gonna wait a few minutes for everybody to kind of climb back into the chat. Yeah, I don't know how long this glitch is gonna go on for. Anyway, it is what it is. Um, I'm also a little slow today. Just a little disclaimer. Um, Between the eclipse energy, dream time, other, my brain is processing words very slowly. So just hang in there with me as we go through this. Yeah? Okay. Cool. Sounds good. Let me make sure the chat is up. Okay, yeah, chat is working too. I know it's going to take a bit for people to climb up in here. But I hope you guys are doing really well. I hope that you have been enjoying the week and enjoying this eclipse energy. It's affecting me a little differently than I would have expected. Like, I think I anticipated a lot more emotional things, but it's definitely just been like a lot of physical fatigue. Oh, I'm just feeling really nauseous all of a sudden. Ooh, ooh, no likey. I love the decor. Thank you. I hope this one helps me understand why my therapist is not therapy. Oh my God, that could be a whole video in and of itself. Hold on, let me put this on Do Not Disturb. Um, why your therapist isn't therapying. Um, for those who've never done therapy, therapy is like dating. Okay, therapy is like dating. It takes a while, I think, to find one, a therapist that you like jive with, and secondly, a therapist that's actually good. And like dating, it's kind of a shit show sometimes. Just speaking honestly, it can totally be a shit show. Um, Also, when it comes to therapists, like I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna put it out there. Oh, I guess I'm feeling a little sassy today. I did just start my cycle too, so that's also why I'm a little like slow. Um, Sometimes therapists get into psychology for a reason, right? Sometimes for personal reasons, and it just is what it is. It also is what makes good therapists, right? When they can also just recall from their own personal life experience. But anyway, blah blah blah. Sorry, your therapist is not therapying. This therapist has no idea what they're doing. They told me my childhood trauma has nothing to do with my adult choices. Oh, okay. They probably, okay, first of all, that's like not like the kindest way to word something. As like I'm not a I'm not like a therapist. This is the way I hold space, right? But that's such a way to word something. Just like, wow. I think I probably like they probably were trying to get at the fact that like you're not in the past, you're in the present. Maybe that's what they were trying to say. But what an interesting choice of words in trying to say that. You know what I mean? Because I do think a lot of times, oh, excuse me, that's the difficult part about trauma, right? And like why trauma keeps affecting us because it's literally the past, right? And we are not there anymore, but our nervous system keeps replaying the past on a loop. Our brain keeps replaying the past on a loop. Our body keeps doing that. And that's what keeps us kind of like stuck and affected by trauma, right? And then when we're able to move through that, like we're not really living in that moment anymore, right? But yeah, I don't, that's probably not the greatest way to word that. We did an hour session and they basically asked why I was still rating my trauma as a 10. I'm like, I can't work through years of trauma in 1 hour. I think they're just not your therapist. I think that's just what it is. They're just not your therapist. They just their communication style doesn't jive with you. I think that's what it comes down to. But anyway, so hello, welcome. So we are now a few minutes in. Yeah, we keep having this glitch for those who are coming in a little late, so we're just rolling with it as long as the glitch is going to be a thing. But if you're new, welcome. The way this works is we hang out, we talk a little bit, as you have seen, we've been talking, and we do some channel messages, we pull some cards, and we just kind of talk about the present moment. Just keep in mind that any messages or channel messages that come through specifically, my code words, I'm so sorry. Anything that comes through is for the collective. So it may resonate with you, it may not resonate with you, and just know that you can treat it as a message for the present moment. If you're coming in and watching this like a year later, it could still apply. Time is not linear, right? So just know that. So you can treat this as a weekend reading, a present moment reading, or other, just as it resonates with you. And again, if it doesn't and you're just hanging out, hey, we're happy to have you hang out. Also, the day that I'm recording this is the day before the fall equinox. Yay! I mean, I've already been in the fall vibes. The second September 1st hit, I'm like, it's fall. It is fall in my home, it is fall in my life, and I am embracing fall because that is my favorite season, and I was so over summer this year. Like, I know a lot of you guys were as well. My cat has fleas, and I feel like a bad mom. It happens. It happens. I mean, fleas have been around for, Lord, probably hundreds and thousands of years, to be honest. I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sure it's similar to like roaches, right? Like, it just kind of is what it is. It happens. It's fall in my heart. Yes, we enjoy the fall. We enjoy a good harvest season. I think most mystics feel that way about fall, or especially like Halloween, right? But it's definitely the time where I feel pretty good and just kind of cozy. There's a flea situation in California? Wait, what? Wait, what do you mean there's a flea situation in California? Is there a flea epidemic that I'm like not aware of? The last two eclipses were heavy for me. This one, not so much. Yeah, again, like kind of what I was saying before. I don't know if I said it in the other live or this one. Probably this one. I didn't spend much time in the other one. This eclipse in particular, I've just been really feeling a lot of like the intensity of the energy and just like the physical kind of fatigue. But emotionally, I'm not as like overwhelmed or just feeling as much as I thought I would. But also speaking honestly, I felt like I moved through a lot of that kind of energy mostly in like July and August. But like I was working through that a lot. So yeah, it is definitely interesting. It is definitely interesting compared to the last eclipses. And also anything that you were experiencing at the last eclipse cycle, or anything that you were wanting to set your intentions around, just know that there could be something that comes full circle or a shifting milestone is how that wants to come through now, because it is 6 months later and we are entering the next eclipse cycle. So just don't be surprised if that's a thing. Happy Halloween pregame month. Yes, I agree. Yeah, I'm eager to just kind of get into the vibe and into some of the messages that want to come through. So yeah, I think we should just get into it. There's a deck that wants to be used today, and I've been like resisting using it because it's still new for me and I'm still getting to know it, but it really, really wants to come out. Hold on, I'm sitting with that. It's literally like, use me, please. Come on. Actually, okay, no, I'm not gonna use, sorry, maybe next time. Okay, I am gonna use the Rose Oracle though, because the Rose was coming through very strongly. Very, very, very strongly. I also brought its little counterpart, the Healing Waters Oracle. I don't know if I'm gonna use that, but we'll feel it out. But let's start with the Rose Oracle. So like I mentioned, the Rose was coming through pretty strongly before I started recording. How does this want to be said? I'm hearing death and love. That's a weird, like very two weird words to put together. Bringing love into times of transition makes transitions a lot easier. And that can really be done with the Rose. The Rose is a good assist for that. If you feel like with this full moon eclipse that you are letting go of a lot of things, or there's a lot of things being blown away or soothed away out of your life, I wouldn't be surprised, because that's also just what happens with full moon eclipses. And Pisces especially is a sign that teaches us how to let go, especially how to like close out big cycles and karmic experiences and things like that. Really leaning into love, really bringing that into the space or bringing that into yourself eases transitions. I just feel like there's a need for soothing. Yeah, the word soothing wants to come out. You just like the way it wants to be said, soothing. So yeah, we're going to start the Rose Oracle, and I think that's also why I felt called to the Healing Water. Something wants to be soothed. If you're not finding the soothing, might not be a bad thing to attempt to focus on, attempt to lean into, giving yourself permission to soothe things that feel very uncomfortable or things that feel exacerbated or stressful right now, especially with the body. I'm really being called to the body with that as well. But yeah, let's get into this. All the decks that I use are linked below. Oh, timestamp. Good Lord. Oh man, it's gonna be one of those days. Okay. Because I feel very just like up here right now. So when I'm like that, talking is just difficult. Okay. Any messages or insights for the collective at this time? Yeah, they just keep bringing up the word soothing like over and over and over again. Anything that's exacerbated, anything that feels like it's actually draining you, and I'm also being drawn to the mental space. For some of you, it's in the body. Some of you, it's in the mind. Obviously, some of you, it's emotional. It's going to be different for everybody. But where something's just like running amok is also how that feels too. Yeah. Yeah. Running amok, wreaking havoc, stress, draining, these kinds of things. Like how are you soothing that right now? With this energy too, it's like there's also a major call to have some quiet. Also, soothing is important. Let's see. Amok, amok, amok. I haven't watched that movie yet. I've only watched one Halloween movie so far. And it was Halloween Town, which made me very happy because I actually haven't seen that in a very, probably since I was a kid. And watching it, I'm like, oh, that's why I like this movie. I totally forgot what it was about. If you've never seen Halloween Town and you're a mystic, you should absolutely watch that. Anyway. Any messages or insights for the collective at this time? Now, the Island Turtle Talk episode I put out referenced a lot about soothing the fears, right? Some of you are still doing that, but even outside the realm of fears, there's other things that need to be quieted down, right now. Any messages or insights for the collective at this time? They're really referencing a lot about the container. The joy of maintaining your container, the joy of being in your container. That's also just being within yourself, being in your energy field, not allowing a lot of disruption, a lot of infiltration to happen, a lot of noise. Again, they keep referencing soothing, noise, quiet. They keep referencing that quite a bit. There was no Astro Talk? Hold on a second, what's going on? Did we talk about the astrology of the weekend? No. Very simple answer, no. The Rose Garden, innocence, yeah, forgiveness, be gentle with yourself, which is exactly what I'm feeling here for the collective. Morning dew, clarity, a fresh start, a positive outlook. Yeah, there's a need to have a lot of quiet, okay? And it's not just a physical thing, but it's also very much an internal thing that's happening there too. Because in the quiet we can really hear, in the quiet we can really listen, in the quiet we can truly rest. Some of you may be moving into an awareness of how little you actually allow your body, your mind, and just all aspects of you to truly rest, and what that means and what that feels like, what that experience is about. Some of you would definitely benefit from it's interesting how they're talking to me today. They said Black Mirror, and I was like, Black Mirror? And then I got drawn to the show, and I was like, oh, phones and shit. Okay. Such a weird way to communicate that. Um, some of you would really benefit from putting the phone down, turning the TV off, like getting away from these modern day mirrors, these modern day portals, just taking time for that. Okay. Because when we consume anything, when we expose ourselves to anything, we do open portals. We do. We open portals. We are subjected to these modern day portals. It's just how it keeps wanting to come through. So be mindful as far as what you are. They're really emphasizing the watching, what you're watching, what you're listening, even like what you're eating. But especially when it comes to other people. And oh my God, are we going here? I wasn't even gonna like do an Island Turtle Talk episode on this. I was talking to a friend about this. The power of words. A lot of you are already familiar with the power of words, but words are worlds. Words are worlds. Words are portals. And so if you're around people who are irresponsible with their words, especially if you're sensitive, right, or especially if like you really take a lot of things in, or if you're like an empathic sponge, so to speak, it can be really easy to be disrupted by the frequency of other people's words, their worlds, their portals that they're just irresponsibly opening. So be mindful of that. But that also goes along with consumption of media and like entertainment. So just having some no phone time, no screen time for a while would also be very beneficial, because it just feels like in those moments of quiet and like pure space without that kind of disruption, there's going to be not just a nice, relaxing energy that can be experienced, but for some of you, also some clarity for those who've been needing clarity. That is not for everybody. Remember, this is collective. When I channel, when I'm talking and I'm giving you guys messages, I know some people want every message to be for them, but it's really important that you use your own discernment, okay? You know what's going on in your life, you know what you want out of your life, and you know how things will apply to you. Don't try to make every single thing that I say fit, because not every single thing is for everybody, okay? Okay, sorry, just had to go there, I want to get one more rose card. Can I get one more rose card? Thank you, especially for those who are in this death love experience. It's just, we don't really hear those two words together. So every time I say it, it just like, it's doing something to my nervous system. Even hearing those two words together is probably activating something in some of you. But coming back, for those who are in a state of transition where there are things that are leaving, that you're allowing yourself to not loop on. We kind of talked about a little bit earlier. Not loop on, not be subjected to, not play out over and over, not be disrupted by. I'm really getting a lot of like the mental space. Again, even emotions there. Some of these things are hard to let go, which is why they need such high levels of quiet, high levels of clean space, right? Clean energy. That's really just you and not anything else that you could be taking in at this time. Okay, can I get one more, please? I just want one. One more, just one, please. And fall equinox, because we are bringing in fall, just a little discussion about that, I guess. It is harvest time, but in harvesting, what are we doing, right? It's like we are collecting our fruits of our labor, our abundance, our resources. We are gathering all of that, but it also is initiating a time of change. It is also initiating a time of transition. It's initiating the time where we are approaching death, where we are approaching winter, right? It is celebratory and it is a time of enjoyment, but also know that that's part of it. Can I get one more, please? This is also a great time to work with water for those who feel so inclined. Wow. That one? Okay, thank you. I was talking to them about the way they're throwing cards at me the last few months. Anyway, rose without thorns, you have a right to your joy, your peace, and sweetness of life. So yes, loving the container, being in the container, enjoying the harvest that is the fall season as well. And it's okay too. There's nothing wrong with that. Sorry, I was like, what was that? Especially when it comes to other people really wanting to be in your space, or other people really wanting to be in your energy, or those of you who are experiencing a lot of just like psychic intrusion. It's not okay. Right? Like, you have the right to say no. You have the right to your own energy. You have the right to your own space. You have the right to your own pure, quiet energy field, to just be in yourself, to just be with you. You have the right to do so. Whether people want to accept that or not. And obviously, my mystics are experiencing this more psychically, energetically, but those who didn't identify as mystics, just a little tangent. I was talking to my team last night, because I am aware that I have sort of just evolved into more of a channeler for mystics, and just talking to my team about that. And I think that's going to shift soon. Just putting that out there. But for those who don't identify as mystics, this is probably a lot more like tangible as far as like relationships are concerned, where people are blowing you up or wanting to see you a lot, or like have really extended conversations, when really what you need is some like quiet me time, quiet solo time, uninterrupted, and you have every right to do so. The right to desire is also coming through as well. I'm hearing Taurus with that. Well, Uranus is in Taurus. Some of you might have strong Taurus in your chart who may resonate with this. This definitely just feels like a little side message for a little chunk of the collective here. The right to pleasure. Oh my God, okay, here we go. No whole other thing opened up. Okay. The right to desire, the right to pleasure, the right to feeling good, the right to sensuality. This is probably going to start like amplifying and getting a little stronger as we get into more Scorpio season. Like, yeah, they're telling me November. So this is an energy that is starting to get kicked up now, because Libra is about joy and pleasure, as is Scorpio, and as is Virgo, just in very different ways, right? And as we transition from Virgo to Libra to Scorpio, that intensity, excuse me, also amplifies. But they're really highlighting Taurus for this. So I'm just telling you what they're telling me. So just take it as it resonates. But some of you may actually struggle just allowing yourself to enjoy life, allowing yourself to experience pleasure, whether that's literally through the pleasure of self-care, right? The pleasure of having a clean home and really good quality food, things like that. Or even the pleasure of even like engaging socially with certain people, or just going and having a fun time, and maybe going to a party, or you know what I mean? It's like things that I think a lot of us view as a little bit more 3D. They're not bad. It's part of the experience, and you're allowed to experience that. So maybe there's also just more than for my non-mystics here, because that also is coming through very strongly. Things that have been labeled and identified as like not high vibrational, right? Or excess, or indulgent, or potentially unhealthy, everything in moderation. If you don't have moderation to anything, it's unhealthy, right? Right? Just saying that. Even when it comes to sex, and engaging in your sexual energy with yourself or other people, there is absolutely nothing unhealthy about that. It's all about your intention. And again, everything in moderation, but you are human, and that's part of the human experience. And you're allowed to experience life in that way without the judgment of other people. It's definitely one of those days. Just like messages are flying. Let's get into the healing waters. Remember, this is what they're reminding me about. Actually, the second I picked this up, they're like, water, working with water. So again, harvest season, fall equinox, the time of harvest, right? The time of abundance and enjoying, right? But it is also the time of the water element, because Scorpio, right? Scorpio sustains fall. Again, this is like, I feel like this reading is literally for the fall equinox, everything that's like coming through. So speaking to September, October, November, maybe even into December a little bit, as we start getting closer to the winter solstice. So yeah, I would actually treat this as a fall equinox reading, but coming back. Working with water is also working with your sacral. It is also working with flow, it's working with feminine energies, and it is working with an element that really rejuvenates and helps to restore life. And it's like there's something about the element of water too that in and of itself is very sensual. They're just emphasizing that. Okay. Healing waters. You're allowed to enjoy laughing, or they're repeating. I'm just rolling with it, even though they're repeating some of the messages here. You are allowed to enjoy life on your own terms. They're really emphasizing judgment here, like judgment and criticism of other people. You don't have to internalize that. You don't have to listen to that. You don't have to take that in. Your pleasure is not someone else's pleasure. Yeah. Your beliefs are not someone else's beliefs. And if people have an issue with that, it's just a reflection on them and their lack of self-acceptance, really. Their inability to enjoy life. There we go. There we go. Any judgment or discomfort that people exhibit towards the way you're enjoying life, even if you're like out and about just doing something you enjoy, right? Any discomfort or disdain people show, it's really just reflecting their lack of ability to enjoy the pleasure of life, the sensuality of life, even the feminine of life. That's how that wanted to be said. Any other messages or insights? They're saying the word mirror. Yeah, some of you could be experiencing mirroring sort of circumstances. A lot of you already know what that means. For those who don't, hold on a second. A lot of what takes place in the external is a mirror for your own internal experiences. Like for like kind of what I just mentioned, like if somebody is like triggered or irritated or annoyed or bothered by the way you are enjoying life, it's really showing them how they actually feel about enjoying life, right? It's like that's like a mirroring experience. Don't forget to hit the like button, by the way, for those who are up in here. I appreciate. But they're highlighting that. So, and also coming back to how much you engage in these external portals of like consumption of like through your phone and through media and all that stuff too. Because all of that is also just another way of looking at mirrors, because mirrors are portals. But they're really just highlighting that. Excuse me. But the mirrors, portals, if you will, that can also bring about beautiful things as well. Beautiful experiences, not just triggery, uncomfortable, unpleasant experiences and feelings and emotions. It can also evoke very positive ones, or ones they said ones we identify as positive. Planetary wave, soul mission, trust the inner call, soul team. Oh, feeling a lot here. First of all, just even the illustration really caught me. We have this little person here, and then we have this like meta guide and or creatrix and or higher self, whatever words you want to put there. I'm getting all of that, to be honest, right? So the more we really appreciate our internal experience, our internal nature, all of what it is to be ourselves and who we actually are, and also enjoying life, the closer we do get to creator, creatrix, God, whatever word you want to use for that, highest self, higher self, multidimensional versions of self, whatever words you want to use for that. The great I am, if you will, right? Right. And also the more we allow ourselves to enjoy, and I've always, not always, but maybe like the last couple of years, I've been saying this a lot, when it comes to this like sense of purpose or this sense of mission or this sense of calling, all it really is just us being ourselves and going about life in a way where we feel most joy, where we feel most pleasurable, where we feel like we can get up in the morning and we love our lives and we are just following the whimsy of our soul. And that's also speaking to this as well. So pleasure is really important. It's not just a frivolous thing. It's not just to blow off steam. It's not just to have some playtime. It also is a way of creating a reality, and it's a way of honoring our souls and our own personal callings. That is why pleasure is so important. It is one of the key ways of accessing that and following that, and also just embodying that in our lives. Also why probably that is very like poo-pooed in like traditional patriarchal society, right? Because God forbid we actually like learn what we like and learn how to enjoy ourselves and enjoy life. We actually access a little bit more of that experience of being limitless, right? Anyway, accessing our own magic. So that's just all that's coming through here. Yeah. Yeah. Anything else? Anything else for the collective this time? Rainbows may be coming up for you. Rainbows may be coming up for you. Just wanted to be mentioned. Any messages or insights for the collective at this time? I'm sorting through so much like frivolous psychic information right now. I will say that's been a challenge of this energy for me recently, just like being candid about it. I feel like I've been picking up on so much more, and it's just so much more to like siphon through and like navigate through. I'm just getting a lot of different animal medicines that I think people are working with. Horses being pretty high up there, actually. Tigers. Yeah, horses, tigers. It's interesting they wanted me to say that plural. Anyway, giving you a little insight into what it's like up in here. Any other messages or insights? Thank you. Of course, as we're talking about animals, Selkie, come out of hiding, embrace who you really are. And oh, I don't think I've ever seen, ooh, whoa, ooh. There's a lot going on there. I don't think I've ever seen this card. Cosmic Ocean, current dreams, future realities, and new beginnings. So again, this is why pleasure is so important. It's just kind of hitting home on what I was mentioning before. The more you allow yourself and give yourself permission to explore pleasure, sensuality within yourself and what evokes that for you in life, the clearer it's going to be as far as like what kind of path or life or activities or people add to that experience, and also add to the experience of purpose or calling or mission work, right? And it also restores more flow and more ease. And also in doing that, you're unlocking other opportunities that could just give you even more of that. We are in eclipse season, which is normally a time of like major endings and major beginnings. So the new beginnings card coming out is also not surprising to me. Yes. Yes. I like the word dreams. The word dreams is really popping out. Of course, dream time is crazy right now. Because Pisces, eclipses, dream time be crazy. But even the word dream, I feel like there's a big part of the collective where that just feels like a big haze. A little like Seven of Cups meets the moon, a little bit like, when was the last time you daydreamed, right? When was the last time you actually were aware of your like personal dreams and your personal hopes, that you actually like knew what those were or the details of that? It's like, yeah, for some there's definitely like a rediscovering of that. I think some of you have done this for sure, but I can definitely feel a part of the collective where there's a need to lift the fog around what personal dreams even are and what that even looks like and what that even feels like, but allowing yourself to enjoy pleasure and sensuality and all that good stuff that we're talking about will also help with that. That'll help to alleviate that, because that's also where our personal dreams are connected to. It's our personal desire. Yeah. Yeah. Is there anything else that wants to be said there? I don't think so. I don't think so. Are we doing groups today? Yes. Oh, that's gonna be interesting. Okay. They literally showed me 3 stones. Like already it's like the 3 groups are defined. Hold on. Just getting the timestamps ready and everything. So not really stones, but colors, but they show them to me like they're stones, but they're emphasizing it's the color. So orange, green, and purple. Okay. Why does that feel so festive? Something about that makes me feel like it's very festive. Um, who's going first? Orange? Okay. Orange. The orange group. We're just going to call you the orange group. Leaving, compromising, city for sure. You had mentioned in the weekly that fear is a dream killer. Yes, thank you for reminding me. Ooh, colors. I know. It was like, oh, this is fun. I like this. Yeah, we're going with orange first. We're actually going to do the Herbal Astrology Oracle today. Yes, indeed. Okay. All right. Group 1. Orange. Orange. You are I wouldn't be surprised, Group 1, if you were the most, like, called to be in your sensuality right now. Just orange kind of screams that, right? It really does. It just screams, I'm here, and I'm enjoying things, and I'm playing. Oh, okay. Yeah, orange. I feel like there's also just when it comes to like physicality, maybe even your health. I feel like you're like something's really changing there. You could be changing your routines. Like maybe you're like instead of going to the gym, maybe you're hiking, or maybe instead of hiking, you're going to the gym. Like, things like that. I feel like there's a shift in routines around like just physical health and body. Group by colors. Yes. Yes. Thanks, Mercedes. That's what I'm getting for the orange group so far. Yeah, so, okay, orange group. The shift in your routines around physicality, around physical health, it's needed because I feel like it's helping to balance, it's balancing you. It's balancing you in a way that you've needed. I feel like there's been almost a neglect or depletion. Yeah, some sort of neglect or depletion has been happening. Even if you've been trying, it's like I think with this eclipse energy, it's the right shift. It's the right kind of changing up of things. Because I feel like some of you have been trying to get that right and you haven't been able to figure it out. But something about the eclipse season is helping you with that. Okay. Okay. And I think in turn, it's actually going to improve your ability to play and be sensual and enjoy the sensuality of life, so to speak. I'm attracted by the 3 colors. I guess I'm real. Well, that's the other thing too. So for those who are not familiar with like my reads, yes, these are collective reads, and the way that I channel, there should be something somewhere in the midst of this video that does speak to you on some level. Because when I'm channeling, I get like an overall vibration, and then I start to like feel these different branches. Emily, thank you. Thank you for the $9.99. Thank you so much. So you may find a little bit of truth in all of the groups, or you may feel called to all of the groups, right? Anyway, coming back to orange. Let's see. The 3 colors are my favorite. Oh, how funny. Okay. But yeah, I do feel like there's going to be a natural improvement to your own, like the way that you go about sensuality or experience sensuality. A couple of things just came in here. Hold on. Oh, very nice. Echinacea with destiny. That's basically like the Wheel of Fortune. We're going to come back to this in a second. There's some things that wanted to be said. Some of you may have realized you've actually been dealing with a lot of people. I'm not going to say a lot. You've been dealing with a certain amount of people, whether that's in the last like 6 months, six is coming through since June, 6 weeks. Lord have mercy, 6 years. Something about the number 6 there. However long, people who actually struggle with that themselves, or who dampen your ability to enjoy sensuality or enjoy the sensuality of life. Like, yeah, okay, so orange group, I feel like you have restricted yourself in some way of how you enjoy the sensuality of life. And I feel like that's been influenced by the people you've been around in recent weeks, months, years. And when I say years, I keep getting like the number 6 very strongly. Or again, could have just been since June. Doesn't have to be, but you would know how that resonates with you. Yeah. And I do feel like Orange Group, there's a good amount of you where you're recalling when you were very sensual, or where you weren't like so restricted or hesitant to do so. Maybe you overdid it. That does happen. That's how we learn our own healthy boundaries and our healthy parameters. We try things, then we go too far, and it's like, oh, that's too far. Let me rein it in, right? Especially if you have any like Venusian like energies in your chart. Like I wouldn't be surprised if that's a thing, or even like heavy Jupiter. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. But let's come back. So Echinacea with Destiny, 30 breaking down to a 3. It's kind of interesting because the flowers look a little sad here. This is a very positive card, but the flowers are making me very sad. You've got some water, you've got the sun, you've got the moon. So just interesting symbology, like water is really sticking out to me for you here. But when this card comes out, it is indicating that there's a shift happening. Yeah, and it feels like you are getting more fertile. You're getting more full of life, but they're really emphasizing the sensuality component with you. Vibrant. Vibrant. You're not going to restrict yourself anymore. You're not going to allow other people to impact your choices with that anymore. And it just feels like your mojo, so to speak, is being restored. Very nice. Okay. Let's go ahead and get into animals. Fae. We're going to do Fae. Let's get into the Fae for my Orange Group. Wouldn't be surprised if Spirit Dancer comes out. Yes, slowly. Okay. Any other messages or insights from my Orange Group? Penelope Dreamweaver. Oh, this feels really yummy too. 28, which is also cyclical, right? So cycles are huge for you here. Orange, I almost called you group 3. So 3s may be significant for you as well. 3 to me is catalytic energy. With Penelope Dreamweaver, I do feel a little sense of fate. I do feel a little bit of that. Like you're literally just hitting a moment in time where this is meant to shift for you. You are meant to come into a much more fertile, I'm like literally hearing the word like delicious, all like very like sensual words, time of life and time of yourself. They keep bringing back health and like physicality. Some of you could have felt like the last, they're giving me 2, 3 weeks, 2, 3 months, 2, 3 years have been so depleting that you feel like your body has aged more than it should. You know how that lands for you, whoever that applies, or however that applies for some people. And you actually are entering a cycle now where, because you're being rejuvenated and your mojo is coming back and your vibrancy is coming back, your own like sense of fertility is coming back in a way where you might actually feel like you are turning the clock back on aging. It's very interesting. You might start looking younger or just start looking healthier. Penelope Dreamweaver is also just very much how she sounds. She kind of comes in to help you weave the fabric, so to speak. And even the word dream keeps coming up here. Ooh, we have an honesty card. Y'all know this card. If you don't know this card, let me tell you. This card is a card of communication, but it's more so about just being honest with yourself, with other people. Sometimes it can be emotional. And I'm feeling the emotion there. I feel like there's a major clearing that's happening with honesty. Again, we are in eclipse season, and while I also feel like this is definitely an equinox kind of a reading, oh, thank you. You are also co-creating a lot faster. I'm trying to use different words other than manifest, but for people who are familiar with that word manifesting, you're manifesting a lot faster, like almost in real time. And maybe you used to be able to do that, and there's been just like a lull. It just feels like, again, you've had like a good chunk of time in this long cycle where it just feels like the fertility of you and your life and your energy just wasn't there, hasn't been there. But anyway, coming back, we are in a time of this eclipse season where we are going through a clearing. And I feel like this is just alluding to that for you. It's like, it's getting rid of stuff that just can't really be with where you're going. It's the stuff that's also going to slow down the getting your mojo back, getting into that fertile place and that fertile energy. Like, that's honestly what I feel. This is just a clearing, okay, with the honesty card. Can I get a card for the honesty card? Let me get one more for this, please, for my orange group. Am I taking that? No. Can I get a card for honesty? I wouldn't be surprised if for orange group you have been going through bouts of emotion, like emotional catharsis or purifying. They keep using the word, it's just a clearing, it's just a clearing, it's just a clearing. But especially like the chest cavity, I like literally the term chest cavity is coming through. Like, there's been a lot that's been trying to move through the heart space. But since you're orange group, I'm assuming that's also probably rooted in your sacral, okay? The sacral and the heart space and the throat chakra are all very highly connected to each other and affect each other very easily. Ooh, Luathus the Wild. We like him. I mean, even look at all the green. So yeah, orange group, you may find that the green group has a lot going on for you as well. We will get there soon. But yeah, Luathus the Wild is really also indicating that this is definitely a clearing. He's like pure fire. He's very much like Sagittarius, Knight of Wands kind of energy. He also is associated with destruction and like a phoenix-like energy, like a phoenix rising, if you will. So yeah, this is emphasizing there has been a clearing going on with you, and I just keep feeling so much through the chest. I'm really feeling the sacral very heavily with you, and for some of you, probably the throat, since this also is a card of communication. But there has been this purification happening, but it's also been unleashing this Luathus the Wild, which is play and fun and spontaneous frivolity and all of that. So not surprised. Okay, let's go ahead and tarot or animals. I feel like we need to start moving on. Okay, tarot. Ooh, actually, hold on. I haven't used this one in a bit. I had a friend gift this to me. Where are we in time and space again? 2022? 2023. 22. No, 2023. Gift this to me. And I haven't used it in a bit, and it was yelling at me, and I was like, okay, it's time. I don't even know if you can actually buy this one online anymore. I think the creator of this deck maybe sold them on Facebook, maybe. Yes, I don't even know if you can find this online, but any messages or insights for the orange group? They're bringing up reading water. That is definitely for a small group of you. Hold on a second. Some of you are, I think, discovering, potentially rediscovering, your ability to read water. Just wanted to be said. Yes, please hit the like button. If you're up in here, please do so. Other people will appreciate that they found the messages because you liked the video. Thank you. One more. Any other messages or insights? Oh, I love these cards. They're so cute. Okay. We have King of Wands. Wow. The Star. Oh, and the Lovers. I am hearing freedom. Freedom to pursue dreams. Yeah, freedom to pursue your dreams, freedom to pursue your desires. Dragons could be significant for you. Obviously, unicorns as well, potentially. Horses were coming through earlier. But that is what I'm getting here, especially with the Star card. Yeah, Yeah, but it's a freedom to do so, and it's also a restoration again of your mojo, your physical vitality, your ability to feel fertile and full of life and be able and capable of just doing it, but also seeing it. And the Lover's card is also indicating that alignment and choice, right? Of being able to do so and being realigned to your own personal dreams, whatever those may be. Could this be about a connection for some of you? Sure. I think it's definitely more about you and yourself. Just speaking honestly, I think most readings are. I think that there are a lot of readings that happen on you, and just being honest with you guys, I think there's a lot of readings that happen on YouTube that are actually just about the self, but a lot of readers make it about other people. But both can stand to be true at the same time, right? Because what we experience internally, we also experience externally. So, anyway, just wanted to speak on that. I'm chatty today, but that's what I'm getting. That is what I'm getting with that. The clearing that's happening, remember what I mentioned earlier too, in more of the collective read, that as things clear, what's also getting clear is this remembrance of what our dreams even are. Okay. Page of Pentacles coming out. I like this. This feels like a plan. It does. It feels like a plan is formulating. Okay. We like it. The page likes to research practical things like financial things and logistical things and getting things in order. It's also a card of trust. It's also a card of loyalty. It's also my card of allyship, consistency. Yeah, it feels like once there is this rediscovery of what your personal dreams even are, and that you have the actual physical energy to go for it, you're going to start getting a plan together. I also feel a restoration of faith. I do. Yeah, in the process. Thank you. A restoration in faith of the process, trusting the process. Very nice. Very nice. Let's get one more. Just one more. Can I get one more from an orange group? Whew. I just felt this like wave of energy, like, wow. Yeah. Okay. Some of you are definitely going to experience this like rush of alleviation. Divine Rose Garden, thank you for the $6.99. Thank you for these messages. As a mystic, you're speaking right to me today. You're so welcome. I do tend to speak to the mystics. And like I said, having a talk with my team recently, I do think that that's probably going to start shifting and evolving. Not to say I'm not going to read for mystics anymore. I think I'll always be a reader for mystics. But also for non-mystics, maybe there is also a new wave of people that just need that kind of support. So maybe that's part of it. I'm just very open and just talking a lot today. Anyway, one last card for the orange group, and then we'll move on to green. Ooh, I can already tell green's got a lot of interesting things going on. Can I get one more for the orange group, please? Interesting. 5 of Swords. Not playing is what I literally just heard. Not playing, not participating in that. So the 5 of Swords, I'm getting quite a few things. Not playing or participating in anybody who's coming in this kind of energy. But the 5 of Swords is like an all or nothing kind of vibe. It does also speak to ego battles and what have you, and needing to stand up for yourself. But it is all or nothing. How do I want to say this? I just feel like you're not entertaining the 5 of Swords. Some of you have been within the 5 of Swords within yourself. We talked about this, I want to say, in the last couple of weeks of how we wage war on ourselves, like internal spiritual warfare. You're not doing that anymore because you have been restoring your trust and your faith in the process, and also your own confidence, your own physical vitality, and a lot of that clarity of what your personal dreams are and aligning to that and going for it. But yeah, it just feels like you're actually overcoming the 5 of Swords energy with the Page of Pentacles. Some of you may have also had some realizations too, as far as like false friends, true friends, like what friendship is really about. That's also just been a theme of Mercury retrograde. Thank you. They're bringing me back to what came up earlier, like realizing the impact of other people on your own fertility and your own sensuality and your relationship with sensuality. Yeah, that ties into that. Okay, let's get into the green group. I do love those cards. I need to start using those more. Where'd the Fae go? Oh my God. It was hiding. Of course it was. And then go put that back. Alrighty. Green group. Feeling a little spiciness with the green group. Got it a few days later. Internal spiritual warfare between love and fear. If you picked green, put something green in the chat. Actually, that'd be kind of fun. Yeah, whatever color you're picking, put something that represents that color in the chat. Let's see. Yeah, green, you feel spicy. A little spicier than I would have anticipated. Let me take a sip first. Why do I feel like there's a lot of fire signs that are going to be resonating with the green group? How do I want to start this? So, green group, there's a specific kind of medicine that has a very specific feeling to it. And this actually came up yesterday with somebody, and also has been starting to creep into the collective a little bit. It's the medicine of venom and antidote, right? There's a group of animal medicines that are more primordial in nature that have been misunderstood, and that's kind of what's coming through here. Like almost more like creepy crawly sort of vibe. You could be really in your, I don't even want to call it the shadow. What's a better word for this right now? Interesting. There were a few words that were coming through, and I'm like, no, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. And I was like, oh, that's it. The active side. I wanted to say like night side, and they said no. I was like, dark side? No. I was like, this is interesting. They just said active. Just call it the active side. Words are probably about to change too with this eclipse cycle. Anyway, yeah. So green group, I feel like you are in a space where you feel like you are having to be somewhat active in neutralizing certain unpleasant things. I'm just gonna say things, okay? That could be emotions, that could be people, that could be habits, but it feels very much like confronting toxic, venomous things and needing to neutralize that. I think some of you are in the space too of waging war in the way that I have been describing the last couple weeks. Not too, I haven't been talking about too much, I've been talking about a little bit, where when we think of the word war, we have such distorted, polarizing, traumatic responses to the word war because of the way we've experienced it. But war in and of itself does not have to be the way we've experienced it, just like all things, right? Just like all traumatic things, it can be different, and it can have a different lens, it can have a different frequency, a different energy to it. All it is to seek out something that is detrimental and neutralize it, not necessarily attack it. It's not necessarily even destruction of it in that kind of way we think of destruction. It can literally be an unmasking of it. It can be a coaxing of it. It can be putting a name to it, right? There's so many different ways to wage war to neutralize a toxic effect of a thought, of a feeling, of a relationship, etc. Just want to do a little explanation there. So green group, you're doing a lot of this. You're doing a lot of this. You may feel like you're in the shadow. You may feel like you're in the underworld, so to speak, but you're just in this very active side of you, proactive side of you, where you're neutralizing toxic, venomous things. Okay. Okay. Let's finally get a card out here using the Herbal Astrology Oracle. Any messages or insights for the green group? Energy mixed together. Kind of a little more stingy than that. Like when I first felt it, it was like, oh, like it felt like getting stung. When I got into the green group's energy, it literally felt like sting. It was like, oh, okay. Okay, this is just where you're at. All right. Any messages or insights for the green group? I definitely feel like you have been dancing with anger is how that wants to come through as well. Dancing with anger, maybe even dancing with the piece of you that wants to attack, wants to lash out, and really understanding that side of you. Because we all have it. We're all animals. So while Orange Group was more about like the primal nature of sensuality, it feels like Green Group, you're more about the primal nature of how we defend ourselves, how we protect ourselves, right? How we maintain peace, how we maintain safety. Feeling a little bit of like a guardian kind of energy. Some of you could feel very protective, just innately, like as your own baseline of your personality. Maybe you feel protective over your home, over your loved ones, more so than other people. Mars being in Cancer, by the way, will totally exacerbate that. So if any of you have Mars Cancer and you're going through that return, that could be amplified within you as well. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I'm like, yeah. Some of you are feeling very protective over specific people. I knew that card was going to come out. I should have called it Nettle. That is literally the card they showed to me, and I didn't say anything, but I'm saying it now. Okay, Ginkgo with Breakthrough. You guys have a lot. And then Cordyceps with Revival. That is very much like the Judgment cards. That's funny, somebody called out Judgment. Okay, yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot going on with the Green Group. So go to Cola, Higher Consciousness, Mercury, and the Moon. I'm not surprised one of these cards is out here for you, because being in that place where you're actually seeing these things for what they are, and you are looking at the more evolved, higher consciousness way of dealing with toxic, venomous things. It's literally from this place of, I have like the knowledge of what the antidote actually is to neutralize this, and it's not from a place of attack and destroy and I'm angry. That's the primal response. The evolved response is, how do I neutralize this, right? What's the antidote? So I'm not surprised it's coming out here for you. Then we have Nettle with Action. Like I said, this is the card that I actually saw in my mind's eye for you. Mars and Pluto. And you see that red sneaky snake going on there. And literally this is the card of action. It's also a card of destruction and purification and like intense fire. So not surprised again that this is coming out for you. Some of you may even also be detoxing physically. Ginkgo with Breakthrough, Mars and Uranus. I feel like that goes hand in hand with the higher consciousness. And again, sussing out how to neutralize venomous, toxic things. And then Cordyceps with Revival. That is definitely that Judgment energy with Jupiter, Pluto, and Mars. Success is what I'm hearing. Successfully discerning the venom and the antidote. Even if that correlates with this like own transmutation of self and your own primal instincts, right? And getting to know that side of you and all of that. I'm definitely feeling that a bit. But I also feel transcendence in ascending situations that are highly venomous and toxic, but because you know what the antidote is and now you know how to wield it. I'm also remembering wielding the sword. So Green Group, let's come back down a little bit. There's a lot of information. You are mastering how to discern and identify the antidote to venomous things, people, words, etc. But that is your mastery. That is just the mastery of what you're dealing with right now and how to wield that. Some of you, and most, thank you, most of you, it is through recognition and words. So words keeps coming up as a theme here, and I'm really getting that with the ginkgo. It's just jumping out at me. When we put a name to something, it demystifies it, first of all. It demystifies it, and words are powerful. We spoke about this earlier. Words are worlds, words are portals, words are also spells, right? Through words is how we can transmute and neutralize a lot of things, including people. Are we going here? Okay. Scorpios know what I'm talking about. Scorpios, Geminis. I feel like there's other people I'm like not mentioning right now. Those are just the two that are jumping out. Know what I'm talking about. When you are observing somebody, so for those who don't have any Scorpio in your chart, This is just a little insight into how Scorpios work and function. Scorpios spend a lot of time observing and reading energy and reading people and like seeing what's behind this like superficial like action of things, right? Like the true motivator of things. And when someone is being venomous or toxic, they watch those words, they watch what's really driving that. And like Scorpios are really good at finding the antidote, actually, now that I think about it. They know exactly what to say to neutralize that person's response, to neutralize and stop the process of attack. And some people interpret that as the sting of the Scorpio, which it kind of is, but it's also the antidote to the venom that's occurring in the situation. Which again kind of speaks to that misunderstanding of that kind of medicine. And scorpion medicine is very much in that primordial realm of medicines, animal medicines that are not very well understood and kind of looked at as taboo or kind of weird or creepy crawly, etc. Yeah, that's all that needs to be said. So a lot of interesting things going on with you. Let's go ahead and get into the cards. Am I doing Fae? I feel like we need to do animals with you. Okay. Been doing that often lately. Everybody who's been with a low vibrational Scorpio knows too. Just like all the signs, not all Leos, not all Aries, not all Pisces, like, you know what I mean? Like, are not equated equal. And obviously everyone's chart is unique in and of themselves. Just speaking to Scorpion medicine, right? Love to be the unsettling Gemini rising, getting to the truth. Yeah. My Scorpio sister once told me, who told you that those shoes match that outfit? I don't know if that's a Scorpio thing. That just sounds like, to be honest, a gaslighty thing. Sounds like she gaslights, which I think every sign is capable of. My ex is Scorpio. He could be brutal with words. Yeah. Yeah. She was literally talking about my clothes. Yeah. Sounds like she was gaslighting. Okay. So coming back, using the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Oracle or deck, whatever. Any messages? Oh, hold on. Oh, any messages or insights for the green group? Any other messages or insights for this green group, please? Swan. Ooh, I love it. Swan is a card of partnership, but first and foremost, it is a card of wholeness, experiencing wholeness within the self. And you see it's also this like mirroring sort of situation going on here. It is also a full acceptance and embrace of your shadow or the active side, right? That's just how they want me to use it for right now. I don't think that word's gonna stick, but the other words didn't really want me to like be using a lot. But Swan, so I'm not surprised it's coming out for you, because clearly green group, you are exploring all facets of self, right? And that can help to restore this experience of wholeness and full acceptance of self. Especially when speaking to that primal part that just wants to like, right? Anything else to the green group? Yep, fire ant. Not surprised. Fire ant is like a 5 of Wands energy. It's discomfort and it's agitation and it's anger and resentment, and it is kind of like that war, like maybe even toxic kind of energy coming through here. So not surprising. Not surprising. Again, green group, I feel like you are mastering right now how to neutralize these energies to maintain your wholeness, to maintain self, to maintain balance, to maintain peace. Can I get another card, please? Interesting. So we have Fox. Fox is to me is one of my Gemini cards. Fox is very sly, very observant, but also very quick on the heels. So literally what I was just saying, right? It's like staying observant as to what is playing out as far as the toxicity goes or the disruption goes, and just staying in that place of intelligence and knowing how to shift and when to shift. And sometimes you might need to do it very quickly on how to exercise the antidote, but it's staying in this place of observance, right? Not getting attached, not internalizing, just watching it for what it is so you can identify the poison, so you can identify the antidote and how to use it. That's why Fox is coming out here. Yeah, so just confirmation of that. Can I get one other card, please? I want to get a card for Fire Ant. Can I get one more for Fire Ant? What's interesting too is that in this deck, Swan and Fox are both partner cards, which is interesting. So could this also be playing out with somebody that you are partnered with in business or in romance or etc. or whatever? Yeah, absolutely it can. But I feel like it's really much more about utilizing that intelligence of the observer of the fox and being able to be adaptable to identifying, discerning the poison, the venom, and then utilizing the antidote. Can I get one other card, please? Let's see. Interesting. We have hummingbird. Oh, they said antidote. Oh, okay. Okay. Very interesting. Literally they're saying antidote, antidote, antidote. Hummingbird to me is literally a like burst of positive energy. Even just looking at the card, I almost want to say light. Sometimes I equate the hummingbird with timing. So also a timing factor in how you utilize the antidote in response to the venom or the toxicity. Sometimes hummingbird is associated with transformation as well, or even just pure magic. But I do feel like kind of all of them can be true here. There's a timing component. There's a with the antidote, like what kind of intention or is behind the antidote, or where are you pulling the antidote from? Is it from this place of light or positivity, or is it just from a purely logical place? Like, right? So it's where are you pulling it from? What's the energy behind the antidote? And the timing of it all is part of what makes the antidote the antidote. Yeah. Very cool. All right, let's pull some tarot and then we'll move on to group 3. Is changing your energy. Yeah, absolutely. It could definitely be, oh my God, definitely about. It could definitely be about how you are shifting the frequency of a situation, right? Even just like an example that's coming up too, like even if somebody's like being a negative Nancy, for example, this is a very minor example. I think there are some of us here who deal with much like more major experiences of venom. But just speaking minorly, like if somebody's being a negative Nancy and they just can't get out of that like mode, it's like, how do you neutralize that? You shift, right? It's like you shift the focus of what they can even be negative about, right? It's like you start to bring up just really exciting things or beautiful things that are going on in their life or even going on around you to like shift their focus and even just shift the frequency of the conversation, right? Because if you're talking about something that's just like purely amazing and like evokes elation, they can't be negative about it, right? Right? So just as an example. Anyway, okay. Any other messages or insights for the green group? No, the star. I hope the star comes out for everybody. So far, the star has come out for everybody. So we're loving it. The star, Aquarian energy. You all know the star. It's healing energy. It's also enlightenment. It's truth. It's also wish fulfillment, hopes, dreams, wishes, all the things. I love that. And I actually want to say this does feel a little bit like elation. And this is the achievement of utilizing the antidote well against venom or to venom, towards venom. Okay. Anything else for green group? Wow. That Five of Swords just loves to hang out, doesn't it? So again, there's probably gonna be some overlap between the groups here. But Hierophant and Five of Swords, that to me looks like an energy that thinks they know it all. Like 100%. Like Hierophant is already a card of beliefs and ethics and morals and values and standards. Could also be somebody who's in that kind of position of power or institution. And then the Five of Swords is literally like, it's all or nothing. It's black or white. It's this or it's that. It's right or it's wrong kind of a stance. And it can be a stance. Like I am not budging. This definitely feels like a person or an energy or a situation where there's just a lot of exertion of power, a lot of forcing of power, but it's from this very black and white, right, wrong, a little high and mighty kind of a place. Whether that's part of people that you're dealing with that you're needing to figure out how to neutralize, or even if this is a piece of yourself and you're recognizing that and you're like, okay, I need to do something about this piece of myself, right? It doesn't have to be purely external. This can be a completely internal experience. This could literally be like your ego. This could literally be your monkey mind at work telling you it's all or nothing, telling you that there needs to be this like high level of expectation or standard met, right? It can be like the way you impose things on yourself. So just keep that in mind. It doesn't have to be completely external there, okay? All right, one more, please. One more. Yeah, I'm getting a rigidity of the mind. I'm getting a rigidity of the mental space, a rigidity of beliefs. Any other messages or insights, please, for the green group? The moon. I'm hearing the word elusive. Elusive. Again, just to repeat, for those where this is more of an internal dialogue or way of believing or perception about yourself, I do think it's something that has been running in the background of your mind, of your consciousness for probably quite some time. But this is you also finally realizing that, discerning that, and understanding what the antidote is, and also exercising that antidote here. But the moon, I do feel like if you're experiencing this externally with other people, there's just something with the moon that feels murky, like something's hiding. Someone's hiding, has been. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Has been. We're gonna get another card on this. This is not going to be for most people, but I feel like there's a group of you where there has been some sort of like secrets, maybe even secret resentment. Oh yeah, there we go. Secret resentment. Can I get another card for the moon, please? Yeah, like secret resentment, suppressed emotions, maybe even denial about certain feelings, and feelings that are not good, like feelings that are toxic, feelings that are venomous. And when we ignore emotions, what happens? They tend to kind of take control in ways that we don't anticipate, or even just are not fully aware of how we respond to people, and even what we start to believe, because we've allowed those emotions to go unacknowledged, and kind of like a kid who goes neglected, they start running amok. Amok keeps wanting to come through today. But that's what I'm getting with the moon card. Repressed emotions, repressed resentments, coming home to roost, really. Which is also part of the full moon eclipse, by the way. Just according to the astrology, there is a theme of the neglected no longer being able to be neglected anymore. Whether those are emotions, thoughts, or people or situations, okay? Anyway, and I get a card for the moon. Oh, wow, I love when this happens. Oh, look at that, the sun and the moon. Totally screaming full moon energy. Susie, thank you for the $9.99. Thank you, I very much appreciate. Thank you. totally speaking of full moon, right? Because that's what a full moon is. It's when the sun opposes the moon. But also what's behind the moon is truth and is illumination and is clarity. But what we need to do is bring that out from the dark, bring that out from what is hidden, right? I keep getting it's about repressed feelings. Um, yeah, I keep getting it's about repressed feelings. Some of you are definitely experiencing the antidote as a polarity, is also what I'm getting with the sun and the moon being here like this. Um, like if someone is really extreme in how they are approaching you or speaking, it's almost like you're realizing sometimes the antidote is actually like quite the opposite. And that will neutralize. That's so interesting how that wants to come through. That's not for all of you. It's just something that wanted to be mentioned. Can I get one more? Let's get one more. And then we'll move on to group 3. Purple. We'll move on to purple. Almost wanted to say purple flavor. Oh, wow. Yeah, speaking more to the antidote, King of Cups. King of Cups is this high level of emotional maturity, but it's also this expression and experience of love that is very grounded and very solid and very healthy and almost like, what's the word I'm looking for? This is how I talk too. It's like when I'm feeling something, I try to express it with my body if I can't find the word. Um, Immovable. There's a better word. There's a better word. Unshakable. Unshakable, undeniable, immovable. We all can experience this within ourselves. We can all be centered and grounded in emotions and in love in that way within ourselves, but that's also part of the antidote. Thank you. Thank you. So again, meeting the venom with the antidote is also coming through in the polarity of this as well. When somebody's acting from repression, repressed emotions, repressed feelings, resentments, things like that, staying in the stance of the King of Cups is also the antidote, right? Because when we're in the King of Cups, and I said this before, the way that the King and the Queen differ, the Queen is the ability to self-regulate emotionally, to be very much in your internal world emotionally and deal with that. But the King is when we have a mastery of the Queen and we can also engage with our external reality and engage with other people, even engage emotionally and never waver from that centered self. Never waver from being able to emotionally regulate ourselves no matter what we're experiencing. So it's also very much that while people start spewing their venom or whatever, staying in this solid, immovable, unshakable experience and vibration of love and emotional stability, emotional maturity, and spiritual maturity, that venom is just, it can't do anything. It can't poison you. It can't affect you in that way. And then if you stay exuding that, that is also part of the antidote, where somebody's also realizing like, oh, they're not, right? Like I know we've all been in these experiences where somebody's triggered or someone's acting out. And if you're not reacting how they expect you to, right? If you're not having a reaction where you just like go right in there with them, you go right down to their level, or if you're not having a reaction to where you are affected and you're also just exuding and maybe even expressing with your words just truth and love and compassion and just like maturity, it really highlights how extreme their behavior is. It really highlights how toxic their behavior is when you're not affected in that way and you just keep shining the light on it, right? But through the lens of compassion and gentility. It doesn't mean being a doormat, right? Because this is actually the stance of not being affected in that way because you're solid in that. Make sense? Makes sense. Okay. Spent a lot of time on group 2. Okay, let's get into group 3 now. Ooh, wow. That was a doozy. That was a lot. That was a lot. Purple. Yes, he's Scorpio. King of Cups is Scorpio. For those who are learning tarot, a quick way to remember all that. All of the kings are fixed. All of the queens are cardinal. All of the knights are mutable. And in turn, all of the kings are air. All of the queens are water. All of the knights are fire. Okay. And then, of course, they have that additional element depending on what suit they're in for those who are learning. Okay. I love the pumpkin mug. Thank you. I do too. I'm very happy with it. So, okay, a little tangent before we get into group 3. I was really bummed when I pulled my decorations out. I forgot that when I moved back here, I got rid of almost everything. And I was like, oh, that's so sad. Because I love Halloween. It is like my favorite season. It's my favorite time of year, and I do love to decorate. It makes me happy, and it's fun, and it's nice to come home and just like be in it, you know? And the fact that I had gotten rid of almost everything, I was just like, I was so sad because I was ready. I had my little pumpkin spice latte. I was gonna put a movie on. Like I was in the vibes, and it was like, oh my God, I don't really have any decorations. So anyway, I ran to Dollar Tree and you know, did some shopping, so to speak. So anyway, just sharing. Okay, purple group. Okay, purple. Purple. What's going on with purple? You're feeling a little quiet. Any messages or insights for purple? Purple group, I feel like you are very much in flow with the energies right now. You feel very calm. You feel very calm and just very chill is what I want to say. Like you're chilling right now. You're just very chill. Am I taking this? No. Okay. Hold on. They want me to light another incense. So purple group, I feel like what we're going to get with you is going to be very different than the other two. We shall see, but I'm having that vibe with you because I feel like you're doing really well right now. Like I said, you just feel like you're chilling. It feels like you're in the breath of the in-between is what I want to say. Like you're in the in-between, which does indicate transitions, but it's a little bit more focused than that. It's not just like, okay, I'm in transition from A to B, from death to birth. It doesn't feel like that. I feel like you're in the breath before the birth and you know it. It also feels a little bit like you're anticipating, but not in a way that's taking you out of your chill mode, is what I'm gathering. You're just there. You're like, I'm just here. I'm just chilling. Life is life. Life be what it is. Like, I don't feel like you're stressed. I don't feel like you're bothered by anything. You're just very chill and very present and totally ready. Thank you. And totally ready to receive. Yeah. And totally ready to receive. You know you're going to receive and you're just chilling and you're just waiting. I wouldn't be surprised if you have strong Pisces or strong water in your chart or even Jupiter, because I feel like the optimism and the faith is just there and it's just easy for you right now. You know you're going to receive, you just know it. Yeah, it's like, oh, something will happen. Something will come in. Something's gonna shift. Like you just know. Any messages or insights from my purple group? I don't even think you're spending a lot of time necessarily meditating or in hermit mode or in meditation or like high priest, high priestess, like or any of that. You're just there. I wouldn't be surprised if rainbows actually would be speaking to you a lot. Yeah, you're just waiting to receive because you just know you're supposed to. You just know it's gonna happen. Can I get a card, please, for the purple group? And you're allowing yourself to just kind of experience life for what it is right now and enjoying it. I almost dare I say you're like emotionally neutral. Like I wouldn't be surprised if the Four of Cups comes out for you. Woo! Not what I would have expected. But maybe this is also a passing energy. We have Dandelion, 53, breaking down to an 8. We have Wounded Healer with Chiron and Jupiter. I knew I was feeling heavy Jupiter. You even have Sagittarius up there in the corner. You got a little Merkaba, some sacred geometry, and it flew out of my hand. You got a little rainbow, which I was picking up on for you. This might be purely for my mystics. It's got that flavor to it. It does have a bit of that flavor to it. How do I want to say this? Because you feel so emotionally neutral. It's almost like that state of emptiness, right? When we are just very aware that we are just a vessel and we are just here, and it's almost like you're waiting to receive for like you to be filled with something, and but filled with something new. With Chiron and Jupiter and the wounded healer association with dandelion, I do feel like you have already completed some sort of clearing. Yeah, yes, they're saying yes, you have. This is why you're ready to receive. Because yeah, this is why you're ready to receive. You're in the breath before the birth. You're in the breath before being filled with new energy, new inspiration, new insights, new interests. And you know it. Some of you, I think, may have some movement really coming in. Like I want to say like a big move, or like literally a big move or a big travel excursion. You may know that. You may be sensing that. I feel like this group is highly intuitive. Also, I'm starting to feel like this might be straight up for my mystics here. You're ready to be moved in the next position. You're just ready. You're just ready. You're just ready. That's just what I keep getting. You're just ready. I don't feel any of like the woundedness. I don't feel any of the Chiron. I don't feel any of the Chiron energy at all. That's why I feel like you have completed all of that. Some of you that really coincided with childhood stuff, like a lot of inner child work, but again, it doesn't matter because you've done it. You've done it and you're just waiting to receive. Can I get one? Let's get one more. Can I get one more, please, for the purple group? I'm hearing lost to winds of time. There, hold on, they bring me back here. Lost to winds of time, lost to winds of time, lost to winds of time. The one to be said 3 times. The breath that has been September, this is what I'm saying about the completion. You've allowed something to be blown away. And that's what it feels like a slow, like literally letting the winds take something away, cleanse you, clear you. Some of you may have been wanting to spend a lot of time like maybe out on like mountaintops or like in like wind tunnels. Like I feel like you've been utilizing air specifically as an element for your own clearing and cleansing. Some of you could even have, thank you. Some of you have had or will have moments where you're outside and you can feel the winds of change. Like a gust of wind comes in and you're reading wind. Some of you know how to read wind innately and you can just feel it like, oh, this is the moment or this is about to happen. Yeah, this is totally for mystics. This is totally for mystics. Yeah. Reading winds of change. And then we have Mandrake with sensuality. 45 breaking down to a 9. So we literally have 8 and 9. So speaking to progression, progressive energy, movement with Neptune and with Venus. So something that we were also speaking about a lot with this just fall equinox energy that we are in and we will experience the next few months is a time of enjoyment and sensuality and pleasure of life. But I feel like this is bringing in some of that new energy to be filled up with, right? And it just feels like pleasure. It feels like pleasure. I do feel a lot of creative energy there, but it feels good. It feels good. You know this is coming in. Yeah, you know this is coming in. You just know this is coming in. I feel so much newness with this. Like literally like new places, new people, new interests. They're really highlighting new interests for you, for Purple Group. New interests, new interests, new interests, new interests. Huh. They really want to emphasize that. New interests. Okay. Okay. All right, we can move on. Let's go with the Fae. Purple Group, I feel like you've had to really relinquish a lot. Some of you material things, but mostly it has just been like I want to say like memories. A lot of beliefs. That's what it is. Thank you. You've had to relinquish a lot of beliefs. A lot of beliefs, a lot of narratives, a lot of ideas. You've just, and literally, I'm hearing you've let the wind take it away. You've let the wind take it away. Like, this is complete surrender. Any messages or insights for the purple group, please? Oh, look who got the honesty card. So for those who are just using the timestamps, I believe Orange got this as well. And it kind of like felt similar where it's like there's a cleaning, there's a clearing, there's a, purifying, a purging that's happening, and that is through the honesty card. But again, I feel like you have done this already. I feel like you have done this already. Because I just keep feeling like you're empty. Not in a way of like, I'm empty and I'm numb, like just you're not filled with so many beliefs and stories and narratives. You're just ready to receive. You're just an open vessel. You're a vessel. You're very aware that you're a vessel. That's also coming through, like your awareness of being a vessel. Okay, however that wants to land for you. Anything else for my purple group? The feline, not my favorite. He's kind of like the crotchety old grandpa, like a crotchety old man who comes in and like kind of nags you. He's kind of a nagging energy. He comes in to say you haven't done enough, you haven't paid the fee, you haven't paid the toll, so to speak. There's more you have to do, there's more you have to do. I think that's something that you were dealing with. That's something that you dealt with. That kind of voice, that kind of pressure, that kind of criticism, probably not feeling like enough or being enough. You've definitely worked through that. I mean, to get to the point where you're just like completely open and receptive from it's not enough, I'm not enough, this isn't enough, da 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 da, because that's like a running constant dialogue, right? And it's a constant push, and it translates to a constant doing or needing to do. And now you're just calm. Like that's a huge shift. That's major. But that's what I'm getting. You were dealing with a bit of a judgmental inner critic there. Yeah, it's all about beliefs. Beliefs, and some of you, this also pertains to like family beliefs, ancestral nonsense. That's what I'm just going to say. Any other messages or insights for purple group? Even with the color purple, right? Because it's like you clearly have been clearing out a lot of beliefs or narratives that are absolutely tied to how you define or see value and worth as a person, right? But what is purple? Purple is literally like a royal color, regality, feeling highly valuable, priceless. It's like literally quite the opposite. So I think also what purple's alluding to here for you as a group. Sylvanius, yeah. Sylvanius is the mask of truth. Taking the mask on or off. I feel like you have really learned to see your innate value as a soul, as a human, but this emptiness too, it's a vastness. When we get to this experience of emptiness, not in the way of like, I am numb and I'm empty and I feel nothing, like not like that, right? That's disassociation, right? This is being so at peace with yourself and just with life and just with all things that you do start to feel just so vast and so open that it can seem like an emptiness because you are vast and you're appreciating your vastness. And you do see such high level of value, not just with yourself, but even with other people. Even with other people. And I am hearing as a vessel. So however that translates or lands for you, I think that's a small group of mystics that are going to resonate with that. Okay. Can I get one more, please? For my purple group. The bright mother. She's very Cancerian. She is literally all about nurturing. She's all about nurturing and compassion. That's also why the Fae gather around her, because she's that yummy like mom kind of energy. Uh, I feel like that's also part of the energy that's coming in here. It's this very like sweet, very gentle, even sensual. Yeah, even sensual sort of an energy that you're going to be experiencing if you haven't experienced it yet. And I feel like, not to sound cheesy, but it is a lot of self-love, honestly. It's a lot of self-love and a lot of appreciation just for innately as you are as a human being. Yeah. The ability to nourish. Hold on a second. The ability to nourish. The ability to nourish. Some of you are also going to start to realize that as you start to get filled with this kind of energy, that you are able to pour this into different things in your life and obviously different people. But I feel like you're going to be using it more to bring life to new places, to new interests, to new relationships. All about the new. They just really keep saying it's all about the new. It's all about the new. Also noticing that both of these are 7, 34 and 16, breaking down to a 7 there. Wait, what's Mandrake? Oh yeah, 9. Okay. 7s are just standing out. All right, I get one more card. Just one more, please, for my purple group. And kind of a little bit of what was coming up in group 3, where there was this getting into that place of unshakable, grounded sense of love within the self, right? Meeting venomous, toxic things and being able to stay in that is part of the antidote. I'm also getting that for you, purple group, that your ability to see the innate goodness in people, the innate value in people, you probably have already been able to do that, but that's going to be even stronger because you're doing that for yourself in a way that you haven't before. And since you're able to do that for others in a way that's just kind of next level to what you've experienced, it's also going to help you navigate toxic situations easier too. Very similar to the green group. Similar but different. Similar but different. In the green group, it was more about them holding on to themselves and taking the observer stance and just navigating. This is actually appreciating the value of every person, even if they're being toxic, but not in a way where you're diminishing yourself, but just being able to see that to a point where you can just see where that toxicity is coming from. You can see where that venom is coming from, and definitely not taking it personally, but also not judging them for that either. This is definitely like a high level of love, really. Capacity. Thank you. High level of capacity for love and what love really is. As I said that, yeah, so just confirming what I was just picking up on with the Glen Conner. For those who don't know this card, this is kind of like the narky toxic card, basically. Narky, toxic, shapeshifty, parasitic, vampiric, gross kind of card. Again, you can see people for who they are, what they are, on a next level, even if you've always been able to, including their innate value. But even if someone is showing up like this, one, you're not going to be affected by them, just with like who you are. You're not going to be affected by them. But the way that you are like exercising antidote is very different than green group. It's very different. Again, green group is like this unwavering holding of self. You're doing that, but you're also allowing the value of what you're seeing in a person to not judge this part of them either. This toxic, venomous part. And you're just going to let them be them and do them. I don't feel like you're going to be like needing to be very active or like even in like a masculine way of like, I need to like neutralize this now. It's not like that. It's not like that. It's seeing and it's feeling and it's just like, okay, this part of that person is just there. So they can be there. But you're not going to see them as a bad person for it. I mean, I'm not talking about murderers and shit like that, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm getting at. Okay, let's pull some cards. I'm going to go back to the unicorns. I meant to do unicorns for green group, and I totally forgot. Okay. And then we're going to wrap this up. I do feel high levels of forgiveness. Some of you, hold on, let me come back over a second. Some of you are needing to forgive certain individuals from your past. I think when you are working through this purging or clearing, and maybe you haven't yet, but I feel like a lot of you have, whenever this clearing has been taking place, I do feel like it concludes with forgiveness of archetypes like this from your past that maybe have instilled you with certain beliefs according to your value, or that affected your value. Just wanted to be said. Okay. Any final messages or insights for the purple group? Oh, well. Well, look at that. The devil. The devil. This is a really interesting devil card, actually. I'm just noticing their tails. Like, I never noticed that before. One's got a fruit and one's got a flame. Just very interesting. Anyway, the devil. I feel like the devil's representing the impact and effect of those beliefs of not being enough. Right? Not being enough, not doing enough, especially in terms of any archetypes that you dealt with like that. And the effect it had on you. And the effect it had on you was also limiting your own relationship to yourself. Anything else for the purple group, please? Yeah. 4 of Pentacles and the 3 of Cups. Purple group, I feel like you've spent some time actually isolating yourself or not being open to people because of this. Because this innately deep-seated sense of not being valuable, not being worthy, not being able to participate. Like, there's so many different ways this wants to come through. Like, what I have to offer is not enough to be part of the party, is essentially what that comes down to. What I have, what I do, what I say, it's never enough to be involved. It's never enough to be accepted. It's never enough to have fun. It's never enough to, it's never enough. 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 And again, I'm getting an isolated kind of a feeling. Some of you have isolated in the past, probably because of social anxiety, something that I'm getting to for some of you. But it comes down to just, again, not feeling valuable, but there's also some trust issues going on there as well, probably because you've dealt with these kind of archetypes in the past, which made you think you're not valuable or you're not worthy, which tells me that these energies were either gaslighty or very critical or very judgmental, maybe even abusive with their words, and so you've stayed relatively closed off. Okay. Especially to experiences that are either social or just purely fun and enjoyable. Ooh, any other messages or insights for the purple group? I want to say, purple group, you've always had a high capacity for love. You've always had this high capacity for love. Like I said, everybody let me go back. In this card for the Bright Mother, all of the Fae gather around her because of her nourishment, because of her love, because of that gentility and compassion that she carries. I think you've always been that. And dealing with these energies, they just wanted to tear that down with their venom. You probably already are very well aware of that. But this is also the narrative you're releasing. This is also the narrative that you are allowing to be lost to the winds of time. Not to be all dramatic, but that's how they wanted it to be said. Because it is just a story. Hold on. It's a story that you allowed to be your reality, but it's just a story that was spun by those types of individuals. That's all it ever was, is also what I'm hearing. That's all it ever was a story that you allowed to become reality. And it just doesn't have to be true. Hence Savanius, the mask of truth, right? Any other messages or insights? Thank you. Ooh. Oh my God, the cards cannot stay in my hands today. 7 of Swords. Oh, I'm so Daisley right now. So the 7 of Swords can be a card of deceit and scandal and malice and all of that and sneaky stuff. But it's also about taking on a different perspective and looking at things differently than you otherwise would have. And that's actually what I'm getting more of. Sometimes the 7 of Swords comes out, when you're trying to move forward or in a certain direction and then you keep looking back. You keep allowing the stories of the past or the past in general to slow you down or hold you up. And I think that definitely stands to be true for a lot of you before you clear this out. But I also feel like this is specifically pertaining to, you need to look at this differently. You need to look at these feelings, these thoughts, these experiences. Oh, we got cut off. You need to look at these thoughts, these experiences, these memories as a story. And that's all it is, especially because it's not in your present, right? You don't have to allow it to hold you back, but you need to look at it for what it is. It is just a story. It is just a story. I'm not diminishing anything that you've been through, right? What you've been through is probably very valid. But the fact is, this doesn't have to continue to play out in your reality. You don't have to allow this story, these words that are worlds and portals, to be part of your reality. You just don't. You don't have to keep, thank you. Oh my God, thank you, thank you. Any looping on these thoughts and these feelings, these memories, these stories is you constantly opening up the portal. So this is how they want me to say it. So I think this is actually going to help to make it like stick in your subconscious. The more you loop on these thoughts, these memories, these words in your heart, in your head, whatever, you're constantly reopening the portal back to these experiences. You are constantly reopening the portal and bringing it into your present. Okay? So think of it that way. So if you don't want to keep opening this portal over and over and over, you need to acknowledge it for what it is and have that mastery of yourself, of your own words, which are also just your thoughts and your feelings, to close the portal once and for all and keep it closed, because it's just a story. Okay? Okay. So I got a different. Any other final cards for Purple Group? And for those who are struggling with not looping on this, another way to help you not have those words be so loud is also talk to the part of you that keeps reiterating it to you. Talk to the part of you that is like repeating the words over and over, repeating the memories, repeating the stories, and actually talk to it, because it is also a piece of you that's doing that. You can say it's part of the ego. It doesn't really matter. It's just another piece of you. So, excuse me, have a very honest conversation and ask that piece of you as it starts to talk to you, like, why are you bringing this up? Why are you bringing up that memory? Why are you saying that to me? And just see what happens in that dialogue. Okay, you might be surprised, and you might be able to make it be quiet once and for all. Okay. Anyway, final cards, please, for Purple Group. Final cards for Purple Group. Queen of Pentacles. That's a cozy queen. I think I'm going to start calling her that from now on, because she pretty much is, right? The Queen of Pentacles, for me personally as a reader, is the last queen before you become an empress or before you move into empress status. You have to master the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Fire, the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Earth to become an empress. The Queen of Pentacles is very grounded. She multitasks. She's very abundant. She has a lot of resources at her disposal. She is kept very comfy. And again, she's also very calm. And she got a little blanket on her. That's so cute. Anyway, cozy, grounded, safe, nourished. This is what you are moving into as the Bright Mother. Queen of Pentacles also tends to be like a business partner or a wife or a mother, or she has that like managerial leader, right, sort of vibe to her. But as you are allowing yourself to become this like empty vessel, to be filled with this new energy, you're also allowing yourself to be taken care of in receiving. The queens receive. The queens always receive, and you know you're ready to receive after moving through all of that and allowing that to be lost to the winds of time, so to speak. I love that phrase. So allow yourself to receive and to be comfortable and to be safe and nourished and taken care of, no matter how this is coming into your life. But you know it's coming. And I do feel like it's just being provided by the universe, not to sound cheesy, but that's exactly what I think is happening. And I think you know that too. Something always comes, right? Something will come up, something will turn up, something's going to happen. Like you just know. And that's just the nature of things anyway. So allow yourself to be taken care of as a Queen of Pentacles. Okay? All right. That is it. Thank you guys for joining me today. I hope you have an amazing Friday and an amazing weekend. And I hope you really enjoy the fall equinox and the next few months of enjoyment and harvest and sensuality. I keep saying that word, and sensuality and pleasure. We're allowed as human beings to be sensual and have all our sensual senses stimulated. How many times can I say that word? So just enjoy. Enjoy the next few months and whatever changes are going to be a part of that for you. Okay? All right, guys, I'm going to bounce. Again, love you. Thank you for hanging out. And thank you for everybody who sent me the super chats as well. I greatly appreciate that. And I will see you guys later, okay? Take care.